networking. So by the time we already know that what is a network, Sandra is again leaving and coming. Okay. So by the time we have learned that what is a network, that means interconnection of the two systems together is a network where you can share or exchange your information. What is the need of networking? We'll just taking a quick review or recap of what we have learned yesterday. So what is the need of networking? It's because of the resource sharing. You can share your resources in the terms of software as well as in the terms of hardware. It is much reliable because in the case of your machine gets failed, at least you can find your file still on the network. It is much reliable. It is cost effective because you can connect one hardware machine between so many machines. In that way, you can share the resource ultimately. So the cost factor is reduces. Communication medium, you can communicate with the people at very longer distance or can video conference with them. You can text chat with them. So in that way, communication becomes so easy. So that goes the same with the application also, that you can share the devices. You can act, the only thing changed over here is your access to the remote database. So access to remote database, what does it mean is that you can access the database on the other side, which is not near you, that is not on your system. Like database means to say, like if I want to book an hotel, so at least I can book an hotel from my home, and that details will automatically be fed into the hotel's database so that they will remember that this person has already booked the room for that particular day. So that is like we're accessing their database. We are saving our details into their database. So that is what your remote access to remote database means. Communication facilities you are all well aware about. Coming on to the advantages, you can share resource. Everything just rotates about sharing, sharing, and sharing only. So you can share resource, you can share storage, you can share software, and improve communications by this. Disadvantage is that if the complex structure of the systems are there, that means so many so terminals are there which are going to connect. So in that case, the complexity definitely increases. So in that case, you single cannot manage it, but there will be a network team would be required for setting up, and that will cost addition to your computer system. So that's what a disadvantage is there. That is actually not a bigger disadvantage, but still a disadvantage is there. File security is a lot more concern over in the disadvantage. Coming on to the evolution of network. So how does it get evolved? So first network which came into the existence was our ARPANET. So that was being developed only for the defense agencies. And after that, the next powerful net which come into existence was NSFNet. And as NSFNet was launched, all its private companies started building their own network because NSFNet was only allowed for the academic research. So all other private industries thought of having a network with them, and hence they come up with separate networks. So because of that, now we will be having so many different networks in the market. To connect all the networks together is your internet. So how can we define an internet as your interlinking of different networks is your internet. Okay, Kathit, which lesson is this? Since you were absent yesterday, this is a computer networking chapter going on. You can discuss it with your friends what has been taught till now. By the way, I have already revised it, but in a fast mode. You can discuss it with your friends. Okay, so coming on to the internet again. Internet is when you connect different kinds of net all together. Interlinking of different nets is your internet. And if we talk about its full form, so internet stands for interconnection network. So interconnection network is your internet because you are interconnecting different networks. So that's why this has been said to be an interconnection network. Now see, by the time we have already discussed this three net, ARPANET, NSFNet, and internet. But this internet is the current one which we are using nowadays. But what about the future? So what they are thinking that there will be another network other than internet, which will be an interspace name will be given to it. By the time we are discussing everything in the 2D mode, that means we are typing the message, we are showing our face, and the text messages, everything is going in 2D form. But interspace will be a advanced form of internet where so many people can communicate with one another at the same time with a high speed and in 3D environment. Your text chat will also be even in 3D environment. That is just a future scenario. It has not been developed yet, but it is a future scenario. They want it to be like that. That in the coming era, there may be, instead of internet, there will be an interspace where everything will be like of dynamic and in 3D environment, everything will be discussed. Or the communication, everything will be in 3D environment. So that is just an advanced version of it. By the time it has not actually come up, but it is just like thinking about it. So that is how your network is evolved. Again, going back to the networks, the first network we have was ARPANET. The next one we were having is NSFNet. After NSFNet, there were so many private industries which are building their own net, which has not been named because there were so many companies which were building their own networks. There is no any dominant name that which we can say. And after this, we come to know about the internet, which we are currently using. So that is how it has been developed. And the future one you have is your interspace. That is not actually in the, that is like kind of future one only. So this is how your evolution of network will go on. Now coming on to the internet, as we are saying that internet is connection of the different networks. So how does it define it? So for defining usually internet, if you think about it, that two or three different networks are getting connected. Suppose if I take an example of like one company is Airtel, another one is Vodafone, and they are connecting to form an internet. So how they will be connected? Because both are having a different company. So for that, if two different networks are there, see, suppose this is your Airtel, this is your Vodafone. If they want to connect themselves to the internet, because internet is what? Connecting two dissimilar networks. So this network is different and this network is different. So for connecting them, there is a device which is said to be as a gateway. So gateway is a term or is a device which is being used to connect two dissimilar networks to form an internet. Repeating it again, that gateway is a device. I think you must have read it in your 9th or 10th standard. There is networking already. Okay, so what is gateway? It is a device which connects two dissimilar networks. So suppose if this is in Airtel and this is in Vodafone, then connecting both the networks to the main internet, a device has been used which is said to be as a gateway. So this is one of the new term when you will talk about internet, always gateway will come into the picture because linking two dissimilar networks can only be done using your gateway. Now, what is this backbone network? Now see, different networks will be there and different networks will be available to you, but you have to connect all of them. So when the different networks will get connected to the gateway, there will be so many gateways. When all the gateway will collect together, that will be considered to be as a backbone. That means like creating a structure as a backbone and forming an internet. So that is what your backbone network is. When all the dissimilar networks gets connected with the gateway and then all the gateway connects together to form the internet and form a backbone network. It's a kind of like syntax, that structure we can say that when all of them combine together forms a backbone network, which is a internet through which you are getting all the services to all different companies. So that is how you are going to see what is your gateway and what is your backbone network. If your internet connections are slow, you can turn off your video. I just ask you to turn on your videos for your uniforms, which I've seen for some of the students, but you can anyway disconnect your videos if you're getting the error through your internet connection. No issues. But for the assembly, there would be no such issue saying that internet connection and all. You must have to show your videos. Like I was asking some of the students and they were like in progress, in progress. For assembly, every time the students would have to turn on their videos, at least for the assembly. Okay. So moving on to how does internet work? This is connecting of two dissimilar networks has been done using gateway. And when all the networks get connected with the gateway, that is considered to be as the backbone of it. So this is how your internet is working. But that doesn't mean that how data has been traveling and everything has been explained. It is not so. Only I'm explaining how does it work. What is the lesson number? What are the timings for the assembly? Kathit, are you not there in the WhatsApp group? Why are you asking this all questions while lecture only? You can ask it afterwards also. And anyway, already there, everything is there in the group itself. So please do not disturb me as well as do not disturb other students too by asking these questions now, which is not related to the topic. I hope you got it. Okay, so that is how your internet works. Is there any doubts with the gateway? Yes, no, any doubts with the gateway?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so we'll move forward. Now, see, when we talk about network, there are some terms which are being used most frequently. Like if we talk about school, then the students, teachers, classroom. These are some of the terms which is being used most frequently. Similarly, when we talk about network, there are some terms which are very useful and which generally we talk in that terms only. Like if I say the first one is your nodes. So each terminal, I mean to say that each system that is a laptop or your computer machine which is connected in the network becomes your nodes. We do not say it anymore that my laptop is connected. It is like three nodes are in the network, four nodes are in the network. How many systems are connected? Is one system is said to be as one node, or you can say them as workstations. So always when we discuss about the network, it is or the laptops, all our systems are always termed to be as nodes or workstations. So here also the note says that each individual computer, whenever your computer gets attached to a network, we refer to it as a node. Only the English word for it has been changing because we are working with the network. The terminology gets different, but it's not like your laptop will physically change. Laptop will still be laptop, but we will refer it as a node when we are talking about the network. So the first term we have is our node that refers to a computer. So when your computer gets attached to a network for sharing the resources or for sharing the softwares with one another, it is referred to be as node, or you can also say as workstation. So that will be your node. Coming on to the server, what does it do? It stores, it is actually a computer only. It is nothing more than a computer. It is also a computer, but some of the functionalities are different. Like a computer is sharing on network something. Means you can share the data, you can exchange the emails or not. But server is dedicated a computer which is responsible for sharing all the stuff like files, data, software, everything. Everything can be shared from your server. A network can have more than one server also. It is not necessary that only one server will be there. There can be more than one server also. Each server will have a unique name on the network. Like each student is having a unique name to identify them. In the similar way, each server will be having a unique name on the internet. All the users will all the users and all the servers, everyone will be having a unique name, then only they can communicate with one another. If the name would not be there and if I will say anything, you do not know that to whom I'm addressing it. So it is necessary even in the terms of network also that everybody should be having a unique name. So server, again repeating that server is only a simple computer, but it is responsible for sharing all the stuff like you can share hardware, whether you can share files, data, software, everything can be shared to your server. And also, since it is sharing so many things and connected to so many computers at once, the server will be more powerful. And the nodes, that means your own system which you are connecting, what you can do, you can you can share the resources of the server as well as node can have their own softwares also. It is not bounded to any of the nodes that only that thing will be shared with the server only which server is having. But node can have their individual file, individual software, independent files, independent softwares other than the shared softwares too. That is what your node is. And server is specifically used only for shareable stuff. Whatever is there on that machine can be shared. And that's why it is a little bit of high configuration as compared to our individual system, because it is connected to so many systems together. Any doubts in nodes and server?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so coming on to the network interface unit. Now see, we have the systems which are connecting into the network. We have one machine which is said to be a server, which is responsible for sharing all the files with us. Now what else do we need? Now see, by talking about server, I was seeing that we will be requiring what? An address. Like you all people here are having your unique name. In the similar way, they should also be having a name or some address which they can refer that with which machine they are communicating. So for that, what the computers developers have nowadays, before it was not inbuilt one, but nowadays network interface unit has been developed in which your one physical address has been given. That physical address is the identification of that particular machine. Nowadays, the computer systems are already inbuilt with NIC, network interface card. But before it was not so. So when before it was not so, there was a separate unit used to come which they used to attach to your computer to make the computer into the network. But for now, every system have inbuilt NIC. NIC stands for your network interface card. You can see over here. So NIU is your network interface unit. It's also said to be an NIC, network interface card. Many times you may assume a question asking what is the full form of NIC. Even in the competitive exams also sometimes it has been asked. So what you should know the full form of NIC, which is network interface card. So what actually is done on the network interface card, there is an address. That physical address has been written on it, and that address is referred to be as a MAC address. So every computer have their own MAC address. So in case if you are in network with some another, I can communicate with your computer by knowing your MAC address. So if I know the MAC address of your computer, then at least I can ping you. That means I can connect with your system from my system by using your MAC address. Now your MAC stands for Media Access Control. You can all note down that is not included in the slide. So MAC address is your media access control, which is a unique identification for all the system. It is for server, it is for different individual systems, it is for everyone. So that is what your MAC address and your NIC is. So we three terminologies we have read into the network. That most important terminologies are your nodes in your own system, your server with which you are sharing the files, and your network interface unit or network interface card on which the physical address has been written to communicate with one another. Now coming on to any doubts, you can always ping me. Now coming on to the types of the networks, other than the other than the terminologies of the network, we'll be discussing that how many types of networks do we have now. So networks is actually divided on the basis of their geographical area. Network can vary in size, its complexity, and the geographical spread. In size, like network may vary in size because it can be for the limited space or it can be for the whole country, can be for the whole city. So it can vary in size. Complexity, that you can might add two systems only or maybe 10 systems can be added to it. And geographical spread means geographical is also your distance only. So on the basis of this, networks has been divided in some of the types. So one is your local area network, then metropolitan area network, wide area network, and personal area network. So this is your LAN, MAN, WAN, and PAN. So maybe you will see many times when you connect your Wi-Fi or something, you can see that the WAN has been connected. It shows like that. If you work in computer lab, you will see that the LAN connection is there. LAN is not connected. LAN network will be there that you can connect your LAN. So this is why this networks has been divided. It has been divided on the basis of their geographical spread. That means the distance, how much distance it can cover. So there are how many networks do we have? Four. Local area network, metropolitan area network, wide area network, and personal area network. So this These are the four networks which we have, which in which the network has been categorized. So discussing our first local area network. And local area network, what it is actually, it is only confined to a localized area. That means land is generally for, maybe consider it for a society, a small society, for an office or for a factory, something like that, which is small in size, like our school. So our school, all the computers are connected through the LAN. So that is confined to a localized area, a small area. And why we are doing the LAN in a small area? Because we want to share our resource. The main purpose is to share the resource. Like if you're working in computer lab, I do not really need to see what other people are working because we are not that much developing any application that we need to share our work. We can definitely send it through the email, but what is the need of LAN specifically? It is because if we want to share our resource in the meaning, definitely you can share soft copy, but like if I want to share the printer, one printer can be shared among so many systems. And that is the most uh, reason that why do we I want to connect all the system to the LAN. So the one system which is not connected to the LAN or the network will not be able to share the resource. So that is what your purpose of LAN is. Actually, the purpose of all the network is to share only, but specifically, if you're doing it into the small area, the main purpose lies behind in the small area is your resource sharing. Now, when you talk about small LAN, always there is a server. That means one of the machine will always be a server. Like in our computer lab, if you would have noticed, we have one server also. One computer has been named as a server over there where the students are not allowed to sit. Why is it so? Because that server is having, since our all the systems in the computer lab are of small configurations. And if you download so many softwares over it, its process gets very slow. It even takes 5 minutes to only start. So for that reason, one server has been put in the computer lab, has been made, a computer has been specifically converted into server so that all the softwares, all the files are there into that system. You can just, if you want it, you can always share it through the network drive. So that is a way that you are not keeping all the files on your system, but you are always allowed to access it using on the server. So LAN configuration definitely involves a server with them where you can store all the files, softwares, and everything over there. Let's see it through a picture. Like you can see here, we have three terminals. One, we have three nodes. One, two, and three. Nodes and workstations are both same. Now see, the three node stations are there and one computer system. They have shown a picture of CPU. Processor have handles everything. That's why they have shown a picture of CPU, but it is ultimately a part of computer only. That this is our server. So that server is having all the softwares, all the files, and all the systems are connected to it. So everybody can access whatever it is available in that server. Also, the printer is also connected to server so that whenever the command will be given from here, anywhere it is connected to the server will generate an issue to the printer, and then that way you can print it out. So this is how your LAN work, local area network. Coming on to the metropolitan area network, what does it say? That you're connecting it within a city. Metropolitan itself explains the words that when you are spreading your network over the city. For example, a cable TV network. The best example which can make you understand very clear, cable TV network. So cable TV network is the one example which you can see that has been spread over all the city for connecting our TVs. So that is what your metropolitan area network is. When the network is spread in the city, then that is your metropolitan area network. Now, since this is also a network, so it is also used for sharing a hardware and software among its user. You can see the picture over here that different societies are there, different companies are there, they have their own land, but when they are connected with one another into a city, that will be considered as your metropolitan area network. Now, the most important, which everybody is using worldwide, is your wide area network. Wide, as the word says wide, that means it has been spreaded across so many of geographical area. That means across the country, like India is there, US is there. If we are connecting these two different countries, then they are connected using wide area network. So when your network's geographical area expands, it becomes wide area network. If we talk about a personal, sorry, if we talk about a small area, then we will be discussing about land. If we talk about a city level, it will be metropolitan area, and if we talk about country level, it will be your wide area network. Now, in this also, ultimately in WAN also, so many LAN connections are there which are joined together to form a bigger WAN. So we can say that the largest WAN in existence is your internet, because it is connecting so many different networks and forming a backbone of bigger network. So most important example of WAN is your internet. The last one we are having is your personal area network. It is like I'm connecting my laptop with my mobile, or my laptop with my single printer machine. That is what your personal area network says. That means you are just connecting or exchanging the information between the devices which are just a few inches away from you. So that is what your personal area network says. Now, what is the difference between LAN and WAN? The most important one. We are not discussing metropolitan area network, we are not discussing personal area network, but major of the time which is being used, the network which is being used is LAN and WAN. So what are the main difference of it if we see? So for LAN, it is like for few kilometers. The diameter is not more than a few kilometers, but it spans entire country. Here, the total data rate of at least 7 Mbps. Now, what data rate means that whenever your communication in channel is there, the data rate says at which particular second how many data are being passed. Usually, you will see your internet speed into the Mbps. What does it say? Megabits per second. That means that in particular second, how many bits has been traveled. And the bits is 0 and 1. You know that all the data travels in the form of 0 and 1 only. So in that particular second, how many bits has been traveled? That is what your data rate says. So this is comparatively low as compared to the WAN. WAN is having a high data connectivity. Now for LAN, a single organization will be ownership will be by single organization, whereas for WAN, multiple organizations will be required because we are connecting a wide area. And yeah, for LAN, very low error rates since the connection is between few people or small geographical area it is being spread about, so the error rates will be low. But in WAN, so many different LANs are also connected together, so the error rates will be quite higher. So that was all for today. Now, do you have any doubts? Then you can share it with me now.